Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm going to be making a super fast leek soup. I only just decided to make this for you 20 minutes ago as I was chatting with an amazing lady who I'm going to reveal that interview a little ways down the road on Sobriety Starts Here. But she was saying, hey, I'm really liking your cooking videos. And I was like, oh, cool. You know what? I'm going to cook some leek soup for all of my friends on Facebook because I was making this for an appetizer for our dinner tonight. We're going over to my mom's for dinner, and leek soup could not be easier. It is literally one ingredient, other than if you count butter or coconut oil, which is what you use in your pot. It's leeks and some homemade almond milk, or store-bought if you would rather just use store-bought, but I just whipped up a batch of my favorite homemade almond milk. I'm always making it, so it's super easy. Right now on the stove, I've got 3 tablespoons of butter melting, and all I'm doing is adding in my big bowl of chopped leeks. So this is about 6 cups of chopped leeks, and sorry, I'm just grabbing my wooden spoon. And so the way that I've bought it a couple of times recently, this isn't usually my way to buy things in a package, as you know, but honestly, I can't help myself with this new product that I found at Costco. Organic leeks in the bag. I know it's going to show up backwards for you, but it's Josie's Organics, organic leeks. And it's literally, you open up the bag, you can wash them, of course, and then they're ready to go. Like, it's nothing. It's the easiest thing ever. No chopping required whatsoever. And the thing with leeks is, of course, they're grown in the ground. They are dirty. You want to make sure that your leeks are really well washed and cleaned and rinsed. So if you're going to go ahead and buy your own leeks and slice them yourself, for sure do that. By the way, this value, it's like $4.99 for this bag of 6 cups of chopped leeks. So really great value if you want to make it easier on yourself. If you're buying your own, buy just a bunch. They come in usually a bunch of 3 or 4. And so what you'll do is slice them all the way in half. Remove the outer leaves that are really bright green or really woody or really yucky. Get rid of those. And then you can start to chop, and then in a colander, you're going to really give them a good rinse. Do them a few times to get rid of all of the grit, because that is definitely what you don't want to be eating when you have a soup. That's one of the worst things. I find other things that are like that. Parsley is another really bad one when it comes to having a lot of dirt on it. So it just makes it so that your guests are kind of like, what am I crunching here? Am I losing a filling? Like, what's happening? So all I have literally done is I have taken 3 tablespoons of butter or coconut oil. I'm loving this grass-fed butter that I've been buying lately. So that's what I'm choosing to use. Up to you. You totally can make it vegan. And it pretty much is, other than if you do use butter. And I'm just sauteing in the butter. I'm going to go ahead and lift my pot so you can maybe see a little bit better. There we go. So it's just starting to wilt down. I'm using a large pot because I don't want to be inhibited. Sometimes we do that, right? We use a pot that's way too small for what we actually need to do. And it just ends up being frustrating because you can't stir really easily. You're having to really keep it all confined, and it's annoying. So all we need for this recipe, those 3 tablespoons of butter, your 6 cups if you're using this bag, this product that I found at Costco, or however many cups you're going to get from your bunch of leeks that you've bought. Don't worry about it. You can, if it's only 4.5 cups, who cares? No problem. You're going to need 2 cups of water, so that's going to go in shortly. And then I've just made my container of plain almond milk. So go back into my videos and find the recipe where I make, I don't know if I titled it vanilla almond milk or if I titled it almond milk or vanilla almond milk. Doesn't matter. Essentially, you're still just starting with almond milk. And all that almond milk is, if you didn't watch that video, is soaked almonds that are soaked in water and then water. It is so easy. So easy. I was so excited because my friend Anita, who I really made that recipe for, she was concerned because so many people will say things are easy And I've even done that where I've like tried to go through a recipe where someone's saying, oh yeah, this is super easy. And I'm like, man, and I can cook pretty well, and this is not easy. Anyway, so it is a very easy recipe, this leek soup, and certainly homemade almond milk. It tastes so much better than store-bought, and it is easy if you have a nut milk bag, and you can get those at any health food store. You can also buy this new contraption called, and by the way, my heat was on medium high. I'm turning it down now to sort of closer to medium. It's now nice and sauteed. There you go, starting to brown up a little bit, which is good. You want it to look a little bit golden in spots. It doesn't have to all be brown, that's for sure, but nice and translucent and softened. But anyway, there's this new product called Almond Cow, I think it's called. They run about $250, but apparently it makes amazing nut milks at the press of a button. So if you like gadgets and you like things like that in your kitchen, that's not me. Whew, I just splashed myself. That's not me, but that might be you. Okay, so now it's pretty much softened down. So you see how quickly that comes together. It's like you put butter in a pot, you throw a bag or your chopped leeks into the pot. Now we're gonna go in with our water. You're gonna hear it sizzle a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna sort of deglaze the pan with my water. You could certainly use chicken stock. I'm just always trying to keep recipes as easy as possible. It's a big passion of mine to keep things as easy as I possibly can with ingredients that you may even have right in your pantry or refrigerator, and so that you can do it easily. Again, with the almond milk, you don't have to make your own. You can just buy it. You know, I usually have one on hand that I also have bought from the store as well. So you can always just go with the store-bought option and make this soup even easier. So I've gone ahead and now I'm on, I'm gonna take it back to medium-high heat. So I'm gonna let it come up a little bit and just deglazing the bottom of that pan. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in a teaspoon of salt, because again, I'm not using chicken stock, so I'm not getting the sodium that I would otherwise be getting from the chicken stock, so I need to add some. Don't fear salt. We get 2,000 milligrams a day. Now that's not very much. That's, less than a half a teaspoon for sure. But if you're adding a pinch here and a pinch there and a pinch here, you're not going over your 2,000 milligrams a day. And so 1 teaspoon for this whole pot of soup, you're still doing just fine. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in 2 cups of almond milk. Again, either homemade or store-bought. Homemade is just, I know you're not gonna be able to really get the sense, but it's just so much creamier and more delicious and amazing, and it just tastes so good. It is just so good. If you don't have a high-speed blender, which I'm gonna be using to puree this soup, you can do it in batches with a regular speed blender, or you can use an immersion blender as well. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some fresh cracked pepper just because I like it. You can choose to not do this if you don't like pepper. And pepper and nutmeg are really good friends, and so I always like to add a little bit of nutmeg. If you ask me for this recipe, I don't think I have this written in the recipe. If you want this recipe, just PM me, send me your email address, and I'll send you the recipe. It's also on my blog, so if you just want to type in leek soup, you can find it written out on my blog. But I'm adding a little bit of, there's the little, I know he's almost dead because I'm drinking so much chai tea lately that I love putting a bit of a sprinkle of nutmeg on the top of my tea. But that's all I do. I just add a little bit of nutmeg. I just like the way it tastes. You can always do that at the end too, at the table. If you're serving it, you can offer people, would you like a little bit of ground nutmeg? And be like super fancy, which is exciting. So that's all I've done. I've mixed it all together. It's literally that easy. Now what I'm gonna do is, probably not on camera because it might splatter, I'm gonna just take my blender, I'm gonna pour the soup into my blender, and then I'm gonna blend it. So hang tight. It's gonna be a little loud. And ask me any questions. I'm turning off my stove. Ask me any questions now in the comments, and I'll get to them when I'm done blending. I'm also gonna leave a few pieces of leek. you what I mean. When I dump my pot there into the blender, I leave a few pieces of the pieces of leek because I like the texture, but you might not like that. It's your recipe. Into the pot. If I were serving it for dinner right away, I'd have my stove still on sort of a low, medium, whatever, and I'd heat it back up because you don't want to put hot, so I put in cold water and cold room temperature almond milk because you don't want to put really boiling hot liquid into your blender and then blend. If it's a plastic blender like the Vitamix, the Blendtec, and the Harley Pasternak Salton blender are. So that's what I do. I put it in where it's room temperature, and then I can go ahead and blend, pour it back into the pot, and I'm serious, you guys, it's done. And it's delicious. It's so good. It's so easy. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, it just tastes so good, and it's that easy. So let me just see if there are any questions at all. Hi, everybody. Happy to see you, Renee and Trina and Bonnie and Roxanne. And hi, Roger. You say it's amazing how much of a difference the homemade almond milk makes. I agree. So the homemade almond milk just turns it into like really, really creamy, rich soup. But don't worry, it'll still work with store-bought. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Eric. Hi, Penny Lee. So great to see you all. So if you decide to make this soup, I'd love to know what you think of it. Homemade leek soup. Leeks are part of the allium family, which are a great prebiotic, meaning these types of foods feed the good bacteria, the probiotics, in our gut. So the probiotics need some food. And anything from the allium family, so garlic, onions, leeks, they do a really good job of feeding it. So if we are feeling like we have gut issues or we just want to boost our immune system, we just want to feel a little bit better, maybe enjoy better poops, definitely you're going to want to incorporate more foods that are prebiotic. And so leek soup is one way to do this. I hope you've enjoyed this. I always love cooking for you in my kitchen, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.